In this video, we will talk about history of Russia's Wagner Group. So watch till the end and subscribe to our channel if you're new here. Let's get started. The Wagner Group is a private military company, PMC, that has attracted a lot of attention recently as a result of its participation in numerous international conflicts. The organization is thought to have close ties to Russia and has a history of conducting clandestine activities for the Russian government. The Wagner Group's exact beginnings and organizational setup are still unknown, but its activities have drawn criticism and attention from throughout the world. Due to the Wagner Group's secrecy, it is challenging to determine the exact period of its founding. It's commonly accepted that Dmitry Utkin, a former officer in the GRU, the Russian military intelligence organization, founded the organization in 2014. Utkin has been referred to as the commander of the Wagner Group and is thought to be its boss. According to legend, Utkin's obsession with the well-known German composer Richard Wagner is where the name Wagner comes from. During the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, particularly in the territories of Crimea and Donetsk, the Wagner Group first rose to notoriety. The group is thought to have contributed significantly to Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014 and thereafter took part in military operations in eastern Ukraine. According to allegations, the Wagner Group supported pro-Russian separatist groups while serving as a paramilitary force for the Russian government. According to reports, its warriors worked in security, intelligence, and combat operations. Beyond Ukraine, the Wagner Group's efforts spread to other crisis areas like Syria, Sudan, and the Central African Republic. The group supported the Syrian government in its conflict with opposition groups in Syria by operating alongside Russian armed forces. The Wagner Group is thought to have been a key component of several significant offensives and serve as a military force multiplier for the Russian army. It's unclear exactly how the Wagner Group and the Russian government are connected. Numerous allegations indicate strong connections between the two, despite the fact that the Russian government has constantly denied having any official ties to the organization. These ties are thought to entail funding, instruction, and collaboration with Russian military and intelligence organizations. The international community is alarmed by the Wagner Group's actions, especially given its participation in wars where Russian interests are at stake. The Russian government can retain plausible deniability and operate outside the bounds of official military activity by using private military firms like the Wagner Group. However, the existence of such groups also calls into question the degree to which armed conflicts are governed by international rules, norms, and transparency, as well as responsibility. The leader of the Russian Wagner mercenary group claims that he has taken control of all military facilities in the city of Rostov-on-Don, which is located in the southern region of Russia. The revelation made by Yevgeny Prigozhin infuriated President Vladimir Putin, who referred to it as a stab in the back and vowed to punish those who had betrayed Russia. Prigozhin's comments prompted Putin's response. Prigozhin has stated that his objective is not a military coup, but a march for justice, and this announcement comes after a protracted verbal conflict with the heads of Russia's armed forces reached a new and significantly more heated level. In Ukraine, the Wagner Group is a private army made up of mercenaries who have been fighting alongside the regular Russian army. There are probably tens of thousands of Wagner troops in the area, according to estimates. They were instrumental in the protracted and bloody battle that was fought to wrest control of the city of Bakhmut from Ukrainian forces. Although the organization refers to itself as a private military company, the Russian government has recently been taking actions that are being seen as an attempt to put it under control. And on June 23rd, Prigozhin stated that Russia's explanation for their war in Ukraine was a lie and that it was only a pretext for Sergei Shoigu, Russia's defense minister, to promote himself. It is believed that it only had approximately 5,000 fighters at the time. The most of them were veterans of Russia's elite regiments and special forces. At the time, it was a covert organization that operated primarily in Africa and the Middle East. Since then, it has significantly increased in size. Wagner almost certainly now commands 50,000 fighters in Ukraine and has become a key component of the Ukraine campaign, the UK Ministry of Defense said in January. Wagner has become a key component of the Ukraine campaign. It was stated that the organization began recruiting in huge numbers in 2022 due to the fact that Russia was having difficulty finding recruits to serve in the regular army. The United States National Security Council stated at the beginning of this year that approximately 8% of Wagner's men in Ukraine field commander for Wagner's group, and that he called the organization after his former radio call sign. He was a member of Wagner. Yevgeny Prigozhin, a wealthy businessman with the moniker Putin's chef, due to the fact that he handled cuisine for the Kremlin, is the current head of the organization. From the kitchen of Vladimir Putin to the commanding officer of Russia has made a number of accusations against Defense Minister Shoigu and the head of the army in Ukraine, Valery Gerasimov, including ineptitude and the deliberate undersupply of Wagner units that are fighting in Ukraine. Prigozhin's accusations have been repeated on multiple occasions. The Russian Ministry of Defense has recently announced that volunteer formations in Ukraine have until the end of June to sign contracts with the Russian government. The Wagner Group was not specifically mentioned in the announcement. Nonetheless, many people believe that this action is an effort by the government to establish a greater degree of control over the Wagner Group. Prigozhin vented his rage with a statement announcing that his forces would refuse to fulfill the contracts. In what other locations does the Wagner Group have operations? Mercenaries from the Wagner Group have been present in Syria since 2015, where they have been fighting alongside forces supporting the government and securing oil fields. In addition, there are mercenaries from the Wagner Group operating in Libya, providing support for the forces that are loyal to General Khalifa Haftar. It is believed that the Wagner Group is currently protecting gold mines in Sudan, in addition to the diamond mines that it has been invited to guard in the Central African Republic CAR. Members of Wagner have been carrying out missions in Syria. The government of Mali, which is located in West Africa, has enlisted the assistance of the Wagner Group in its fight against Islamic extremist groups. It is believed that Prigozhin benefits financially from the activities of the Wagner Group. The United States Treasury believes that he is using his presence to enrich mining firms that he owns and as a result has sanctioned those companies. This finishes our today's video. If you want to watch more of us, then subscribe to our channel before leaving.